Chapter 4. To replenish blood for our children. Ying Zijin withdrew her hand, completely unconcerned about the strange looks from the people around her, and continued on her way after rolling up her sleeves. Shanghai City is the second international metropolis in a Chui country, where the economy and technology have developed rapidly. The seventh young master. Did you see that? Enai Chao took a while to come back to his senses, pinching his thigh and hissing. I remember clearly. This little girl just entered the hospital the day before yesterday, and now she's capable of taking on 5 at once. Yes, SAW, Fu Yunchen said with one hand in his pocket, watching the girl's retreating figure. But her skills are hard to place, a bit like Muay Thai, and a little like judo. Enai Chao was stunned. What do you mean? Every move she made was quite clever, Fu Yunchen chuckled lowly. If she had used just a bit more force, those 5 would have ended up more than just knocked down and unable to get up. Enai Chao listened with a cold sweat pouring down. Impossible, right? Could it be that this little girl knows ancient martial arts? Martial artists who combine the practice methods of the ancients with today's sessions are ancient martial artists, and they are many times stronger than someone like him who knows karate. There are ancient martial artists in a Chui country, though they aren't many. Some ancient martial families also began to fade from the spotlight with the arrival of the 21st century. Even those wealthy families in the imperial capital are looking for true ancient martial artists, let alone in Shanghai City. If any wealthy family can invite a true ancient martial artist to preside over their family, they would have the ability to compete with those ancient financial consortiums from the ancient continent. If the Ying family's foster daughter knows ancient martial arts, would the Ying family treat her like a living blood bank? The entire family would be too busy providing for her to do anything else ancient martial arts. How? Yunshen's gaze shifted slightly, then settled ahead. The girl suddenly turned back and walked toward them. Fu Yunshen narrowed his eyes and slightly turned his body. The streetlights were festive and shone in his narrow, peach blossom eyes, casting a touch of crimson, tinting it with a few shades of tenderness. Very few people could withstand his gaze. As she got closer, Fu Yunshen could clearly see the greenish veins under the girl's pale skin, delicate to the point of being startling, and his eyebrows twitched slightly. Enai Chao's cold sweat broke out even more. It couldn't be that he had talked behind her back, and she had heard it. Could it? Even though he was a 9th dan of karate and a big man, based on the little sister's attitude just now, she could take 100 of him without even using both hands. It was also at this time that the girl stopped in front of him. She lifted her head, her eyes still misty with fog, and said, "You." Enai Chao's legs went weak, and with a thump, he knelt down. "I'm just a gossipy diviner with a big mouth, and truly no ill will please. Big boss, show me see." Fu Yunshen was amused, kneeling on one knee, such a devoted posture. "Are you proposing?" Enai Chao. These darn legs of his. Ying Zijin looked at Enai Chao as he stood back up and slightly raised eyebrow, speaking evenly. "In 3 days, at 7 in the evening at Huangpu No 1 Tavern, you will encounter a misfortune, but will not be in grave danger. From noon, 12 days later, I suggest you avoid the Punan area, or you will be risking your life." Enai Chao was baffled. Upon hearing this, Fu Yunshen, who had been toying with the jade stone with his slender fingers, gripped it suddenly, his peach blossom eyes lifting, his voice low and husky, laced with laughter. "Kid, can you predict the future?" Ying Zijin did not answer, but replied, "Thank you." The thanks were just a pretext. Whether anyone helped her or not, it didn't matter to her. She just wanted to test how much of her divine calculation ability remained. It seemed she would need a long time to fully recover, but for now, it was sufficient. Enai Chao was even more confused. How? Fu Yunshen glanced at Enai Chao, then turned his gaze back to the girl. His pupils, the color of light amber, had a bewitching kind of tenderness. "Kid, thanking him alone, isn't that a bit unfair to me?" Ying Zijin's expression paused. Enai Chao was flabbergasted. "7th young master, don't tell me you're serious. It was clearly you who bullied the little sister, and now you're acting out of character today. A grown man acting like this, should he be proud of himself? How come he never saw this young master talk to any other person of the opposite sex this way?" Fu Yunshen ignored him, his peach blossom eyes intent and directly staring at the girl as if he were emitting sparks. "Little friend, you divined for him. How about also calculating for me? Ying Zijin's eyes narrowed slightly. Little sister, don't pay attention to him. Enai Chao felt that today's Fu Yunshan was off, trying to smooth things over. Where do you need to go? Leaders give you a ride. It really is deep waters in wealthy families, he thought, as this sister didn't seem to be like the people described in the rumors. No need. Ying Zijin shook her head, ready to leave. But as she turned around, her body swayed slightly. Obviously a side effect of having glassed too much blood. She raised her hand to press on her temple, her eyes and eyebrows coated with a layer of cold frost. Just then, a languid voice came from behind. Little friend. Ying Zijin stopped and turned around. The man leaned against the glass door, still in his dandy and suave appearance. Your benefactor says he wants to thank you for your warning by having dinner with you tonight. Han Pavilion It was not until the waiter had set the table where that Enai Chao still called Tomprofend, and he looked at the girl with her indifferent expression. You really agreed? Aren't you afraid of being sold? What if we're bad people and poison you? And what was up with the seventh young master? Since when does he take the initiative to invite a lady? Ying Zijin's eyes were half closed as she rested. Because I'm truly hungry. Nieko, that's enough. And bring one more dish of stir-fried pork liver. Fu Yunshan closed the menu. Looked up with a smile. Little friend is too thin. Needs to replenish some blood. The waiter bowed and went down to Preparihan Pavilion. Is the only restaurant in a Chui country that refuses Michelin 3-star rating, accepting only tables of guests a day, and one must book 3 months in advance. Enai Chao looked around. 7th. Young master, you don't know the owner of a pavilion, do you? Even my old man would need to make a reservation for this place. Don't know him. Fu Yunshan rested his arm on the back of the chair, his tone very casual. They probably just like my face. Miss Ying, you heard him. Didn't you? The 7th young master likes to talk nonsense. Don't believe a word he says. Enai Chao didn't take it seriously, waving his hand. Grandly, but today is a rare occasion that the 7th young master is treating, so eat your fill. He lacks everything but money. Quite the coincidence, Ying Zijin remarked casually. I only lack money. Fu Yunshan looked up. You lack money? Enai Chao was startled. The Ying family doesn't give you money. The servants of the Ying family all had salaries. Why would they not pay a foster daughter? I'm poor at learning, never studied etiquette, and certainly can't arrange flowers or perform the tea art, the girl said indifferently. Being such an embarrassment, why would they give me money? Enai Chao was left speechless. Fu Yunshan's eyelashes flinched, the corners of his mouth curling up. Little friend, that's their loss for not seeing your value. Your table manners even follow those of the royal family from ancient Zero continent.